These are the faces of multi-million-dollar film production, and they are being made in our backyard, thanks to Screen Australia and the Australian government. Australia is known for our picturesque landscape, spectacular beaches and natural beauty. But in reality, Hollywood is being lured down under with big money offered by the Australian government, and the list of large-scale production is growing. So let's go behind the scenes of the Australian film industry to uncover what this really means.
Foreign feature film production spending in Australia has recently increased by approximately $300 million annually. Australians would like to believe that it's due to the natural beauty, culture and local talent. Realistically though, this increase is attributed largely to the extensive government support and investment. Overseas companies are able to apply for a location offset and a PDV offset. Location offset is a 16.5% rebate for the production of large budget projects shot in Australia. This is to enhance the opportunities for Aussie casts, crew and other providers. The PDV offset, standing for Post, Digital and Visual Effects Production, is a 30% rebate for this work. This is available regardless of where the project is shot, and is to enhance Australia's PDV sector and develop its reputation globally. Additionally, films that are significantly Australian reportedly receive a secret 40% rebate on production costs, all of which make Australia very financially attractive. In a way, the large-scale production houses such as Disney are using their economic benefits with Australia to request separate government grants on top of the offsets that directly subsidise particular films. The government recently secured the Thor and Alien sequels with a $47.25 million subsidy. These big investments by the Australian government are winning over Hollywood, but at what cost? Let's have a deeper look now at the pros and cons of this scheme.
The biggest advantage of a government-subsidised film industry is the economic benefits it reaps. The government claims The Wolverine, for instance, which received $12.8 million in funding, created over 1,750 jobs and contracted more than 1,027 Australian companies, generating $80 million in investment, and has reaffirmed Australia's status as one of the world's best filming destinations. That's an economic impact of around $6 for each dollar of taxpayers' money spent. While critics say that the Australian government's spending is too great in comparison to the rewards, the majority of financing, even for local features, still comes from overseas. Furthermore, big Hollywood studios have no shortage of places to shoot. A big foreign film that shoots in Australia is most certainly money that wouldn't otherwise have made it into our economy. There is the benefit to Australian-based businesses operating in the service industries for which the production of big-budget movies is dependent, such as construction and catering. In addition, the films that are produced here promote the Australian tourism industry, and the key locations of these films can become prime locations for tourism.
Critics say that the biggest problem with the government-subsidised film industry is that it doesn't achieve what it sets out to, and often doesn't disclose the full cost of the subsidies. The government stated that in exchange for the Thor and Alien sequels being filmed in Australia, they would offer $47.25 million in direct funding. However, this amount did not include the 16.5% tax offset that the films would receive, amongst other undisclosed subsidies. This results in the original figure of $47.25 million being only half of the full government investment of $90 million. Michael Thom, an expert on production incentives, said, "They tend to be very costly and don't create the number of jobs that is alleged, and the tax revenue doesn't come back. The research shows that it probably boosts the wages in the short term for people who work in the industry, but it doesn't last." Critics also argued that there are plenty of other companies that would add sustainable jobs and growth to Australia if they were given a 16.5% tax break, and thus these subsidies are not an effective use of resources.
Currently, the only way the Australian government can attract foreign film companies is through this incentive scheme. But if we don't, we can't compete. With the tax offsets and subsidies proving the benefits advertised, the real question is, does the means justify the ends? Sure, it brings in offshore investment into Australia's economy, but these short-term boosts aren't sustainable. So do these large media companies in the US actually need to be subsidised by Australian taxpayers? You decide.